What is going on, guys? We're back with another Madden 23 rebuild. Today, we are going to be doing one of the Green Bay Packers, a team that I may have rebuilt a couple times this Madden. Obviously, as a Packers fan, I kind of have that excuse. But more importantly, this has been a super polarizing team, a team that obviously, when Rodgers is healthy and playing, expected to make the playoffs, especially in a quote-unquote weaker division. I know if the Vikings can still be decent, which that defense, I know they got a new defensive coordinator, but they lost a lot of veteran pieces. If they can play, to their offensive par and way the Lions looked last year, especially in the second half of the season, this is actually a pretty good division. But as of last year, when you take the whole season as a whole, yeah, it's a pretty weak division. So them not making the playoffs is definitely concerning and kind of like what the hell? Obviously, we don't know how much that broken thumb affected Rodgers. If he sucks in New York without injury, well, that's all I can say. Well, Green Bay will obviously look pretty smart for that, but it's a surefire way to get yourself, fired if you get rid of your best quarterback. Well, I mean, maybe your best player in your franchise history, one of the best in NFL history, for a guy that kind of started the rift, not he himself, but, the pick itself started the rift between the franchise and Rodgers, and he doesn't turn out well. I mean, you've already just had a bad season with Rodgers. You kind of wasted another window opportunity with him. You traded him off, and then you started the guy that doesn't play well, if that's the case. Yeah, that should seem like a firing for the front office. I've always wondered, though, how that even happens. How does a team without an owner even fire? Can you not just, buddy and just, I'll protect your job if you protect mine? I don't understand how that works, right? Could you not go full corruption mode? Everyone's like, okay, you guys all happy with where you are in the organization? Because we're not moving. We're not leaving. We're just going to stick it in. I don't even know how that. I think it's a committee vote thing. I honestly don't know. Because, Joe Barry still being here is an absolute shocker. I mean, he is one of the worst defensive coordinators in the league. It's not even close. Dude thinks that, 270-plus pound linemen and linebackers should be dropping back. And it's not even that, it's a bait out. He's literally lined Preston Smith up against a wide receiver. It's not like you're dropping him back, right? Remember the old classic NFC Championship, B.J. Raji dropping back and picking off Caleb Haney for a touchdown? That is bizarre. That's crazy, but it's at least a drop back, right? You're not, expecting him to do that, whereas if Preston's out, lined up in the slot against a wide receiver, Preston ain't fast enough to get to the quarterback from that. It's going to take him 4 seconds anyways. So it's either he's covering the guy or he's just out of the play anyways. So that's your number one target. Dropping back 10 yards on 3rd and 2. The dude, I don't understand. When he started playing press man, it was crazy. It was like, whoa, hey, maybe this guy knows what he's doing, but nah, he ain't him. And until he's gone, no matter how much draft picks this team puts into the defense, it's just never going to be a good defense. It's going to be, at best, middle of the pack. Numbers-wise, they're like a top 5 pass defense. It's not true. It's just not true. The reason why they're a top 5 pass defense is because teams can run the ball all day on us, and they're still super effective on 3rd down, which, I mean, all that matters is you get points and you convert. So it doesn't matter if you have, the best top 5 yards. It's yeah, but you're still giving up crazy points per game, and you're losing every game. So it is what it is. But talking about the actual roster itself, there's a reason why this team did not draft an offensive lineman in this latest draft, which they love to do. And that is because they have a pretty damn good unit. It's a unit that people kind of underrate. Maybe not the best run block unit, but definitely a top 5 pass blocking unit. Zach Tom, hopefully he can develop into that right tackle role. Jenkins getting a nice contract. Didn't play good at right tackle. The year before when David Bakhtiari was completely out and they had to move him all across the line, he was actually pretty good at right tackle. Last season when he played a little bit of right tackle, not good. Not good at all. Runyon's pretty solid. Royce Newman, I don't even know why I have him here. He is awful. Christian Watson probably should be a higher overall than 76 overall. He was on fire for a while last year. A little bit of injury concerns, but he was on fire. Dobbs, little inconsistent, but good catcher. His route running was decent. Jaden Reed, the new rookie, obviously a different style of player. True slot player that can just get it done after the catch. DeGuara, I have at fullback because that's basically what he is. That pick never made sense at all. Aaron Jones is, a top-tier running back in the league, just doesn't get ran much, so hopefully that changes. A.J. Dillon, up and down. I mean, sometimes he's you can't take him down, and then sometimes how did he not get the first down with his size? It's strange, but I like him, obviously. Jordan Love, question marks all over the place. Sean Clifford, question mark there. Why did they draft him so high? I don't know, but he's decent. He's really smart, I've heard, so that's cool. Luke Musgrave, I really wanted them to go for Michael Mayer, but they wanted someone that can maybe stretch the field a little bit more, and obviously Musgrave can do that with the huge frame and the speed. Worry a little bit about injury, and of course, after the catch, it just doesn't exist somehow with his frame. He's like Jimmy Graham without a stiff arm. He's really, I mean, he just goes down like just like that. But opposite of that is Tucker Kraft, who I think will probably be the better of the two, to be honest. I've said it before, and you might call me crazy. His after-the-catch game looks so much like Gronk, it's crazy. Like, you watch his highlights, and you'll think it's literally Gronk. Like, his after-the-catch style is just Gronk. He just moves like Gronk. He he kind of catches like Gronk a little bit. He breaks tackles like Gronk. I don't know if he's as good of a run blocker or as good of a, technically as a catcher or route runner, but he, after the catch-wise, that's what I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm not going to say he's going to be as good as Gronk, but after the catch is, I like that. I like that. He's a freaking tank. Jaden Reed didn't really look at, but this is, once again, Apathy's roster. I changed a few things, but overall everything's pretty much the same. Jaden Reed, very good after the catch, like I said, same as Tucker Kraft, and very shifty, can track the ball well. Dontavian Wicks, this draft class in the Packers was kind of a what have they done before recently. So they're taking them off the potential from before recent years, in which I don't hate, because obviously you're getting more value because the NFL is a what have you done lately type of thing. So obviously if you have a guy that played well once, then kind of fell off, typically those guys are going to be, falling down the board a little bit. But Green Bay's quote-unquote in a rebuild, so they don't mind trying to coach those guys back up. Wicks, obviously, a little bit of drop concerns, but overall, very good at getting yards, and we like that. Grant DeBose, I don't remember if I even added him. I think I did, but he's not on my list. Very good contested catch guy. A little bit of athletic concerns from some of these receivers they grab, but obviously I really do like, the approach, multiple tight ends, and some different type of wide receivers is pretty nice. Colby Wooden, a little undersized, but, very good player. Carl Brooks, that is a guy to be, kind of on the lookout for, especially as a rotational guy. Statistically, he might put up some of the best numbers from this interior line, like I said, because of that rotation. Devontae Wyatt, worried. Definitely worried. Couldn't get on the field with guys like Jaron Reed and Dean Lowry. That's not a good sign. And, of course, he's already like 25 years old. So, obviously, in game he's now, we're talking about real life here. But definitely some concerns there. Worried about that. Preston Smith, super, I guess, non-injury prone and consistent. Just not that great. He's very good, but not great. Lukas Van Ness is going to start over him, even though he is definitely a project player, is without a doubt. He's got like one move, and that is just the bull rush. I mean, he's super raw. But the reason why they take him is because of that athletic frame and the potential there. Super big, super fast. I mean, strong. But I do worry that he is a one-trick pony, and he gets figured out very, very quickly. So I worry about that. But obviously, it's got a guy like Rashawn Gary, and he's got time to develop, as he's literally only 21 years old. Probably could have bumped that speed up a little bit, but I just kept it the same. It doesn't really matter too much in sim. What else do we have? Quay Walker. Some ups and some downs. I mean, he kind of reminds me of like I don't know if I would say a less talented Devin White, but a little bit like Devin White. Sometimes super crazy good, but sometimes likes to play hero ball, gets himself in trouble. And, I mean, there was ups and downs from Quay. Looked really bad early on in the season, and then he kind of picked it up and then looked bad again. I mean, the obvious emotional concerns with the multiple ejections. I don't know. It worries me, but he's a young player, so obviously we'll be fine there. Devondre had a bit of a down season. Rashawn Gary was looking great before the injury, which we'll have to see how he plays after. Jair is him. Stokes had a great rookie year. Didn't play much last year because of injury. Rasul had a down year for sure. And then Darnell Savage is pretty awful, not going to lie. The reason why he's here is because of the fifth-year option that they paid him before they kind of knew he was going to be bad last season. So safety's a concern here, and the long intro is long enough. Also, one more player, the kicker. This play made no sense to me. I know his brother is amazing, but he doesn't really seem like his brother. I know there was an injury or whatever, but if you can't kick well, not in the freezing cold, how is he going to do it in Green Bay? I don't understand. Are they just hoping his name carries him to greatness? I don't get it. I really don't. Maybe I'm stupid. I don't know. But super long intro is long enough. If we're looking at what we need to replace, quarterback we're going to pay attention to, but Jordan Love will have that extra year. O-line in game we'll probably have to replace, even though in real life they're actually not bad. Receivers, we'll see how they develop. And then defensively, for sure, safety and probably middle linebacker. But other than that, we're actually not in a terrible spot here. Just got to make sure we pay Gary because, I mean, assuming he plays anywhere near how he was going to play last season, he's him. And if you want to be him, maybe leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comment section below what team you'd like to see next. Obviously, the DeAndre Hopkins release might, make me do a rebuild for them, as I should have already anyways. Whatever team he joins would probably be kind of, I'm not saying I want the Bills to get him because I think that would be OP as hell, but, I don't know if I feel like a Dalton Kincaid rebuild for the Bills is enough. Is it enough of a reason to rebuild them when they already have Dawson Knox? I don't know. But if they got Hop, obviously I would have to. And Apathy, the guy that I took the roster off of, has Lukas Van Ness as a D-end. And I was actually debating on, keeping him there. He's not the greatest interior rusher. He definitely will rotate there a little bit, but he's obviously more of an edge. But keeping him at D-end actually gives him the classic pass rush or run stop upgrades. And I suppose he probably does need more run-stopping stuff, but I want him to be a good pass rusher, so I don't really care too much about the run block stuff just yet. Usually as a DN, when he actually plays that, I've seen him go completely off in Sim, but obviously as a 3-4 edge, which is pretty bad in Madden Sim, I don't know how that's going to go. Hey, Stokes with the dev up. Outside of probably the wide receivers, or obviously Jordan Love, can't really ask for a much more influential breakout than this, as that may set our corners for the rest of this rebuild. And I don't know what it is about Colby Wooden. Even the fake well, not fake, but they're all fake technically. But the post-draft class Colby Wooden's breakout every time. He's just insane. Don't know what it is. Frame maybe? So we're actually having a very, very good season. Unexpectedly good season, to be fair. Money concerns. Keyshawn Nixon is a guy that he got a 1-year 5 because he had a really good season as a kick returner. I would like to keep him on as a kick returner. He was actually not bad at corner either. He played a little bit. He was actually pretty decent, very aggressive. Rudy Ford had himself a couple of nice games last season. I don't know if he's the long-term option, especially in a rebuild, so probably not. Justin Hollins was always just a depth guy. Bo Melton, probably a guy that can maybe compete with Nixon in case, it was a fluke season, which I don't think it is. There's something about him that he just looks so confident out there. A 2-year, $2 million. Okay, I guess some people are desperate here. Tyler Goodson, a little bit of potential in preseason. Number 3/4 with Lou Nichols being the number 3. Probably more of a practice squad guy, but we'll see. All right, now, my optimism for the Packers season, it's okay. I'm not some crazy super homer fan of the Packers where I'm like, they're going to be great every year. But they do have a pretty easy-ish schedule. There's a good 8 games, not even really counting division games, that I think they can win. So I think they actually got blessed with a pretty easy schedule. I'm pretty even sure, win-loss record-wise, they're one of the easier, better teams for that. But 14-3, I would be absolutely shocked. There's a couple of teams in there that even if Jordan Love is truly the next Mahomes, which is the whole kind of I see Mahomes in him or whatever, maybe half the reason why they took him. But even then, I would say they wouldn't win 14 games. And obviously that is a super high reach for them to go and get Mahomes here with Jordan Love. But yeah, 14-3. Hell of a season. Not sure where that puts us when it comes to where this rebuild lies, because, like I said, 8 to 10 wins would be my absolute high season for the Packers. 7 more realistic. But yeah, this team went out and won 14 games. So as far as where the draft pick lies, it's something. It's definitely It's an interesting one. It's not really a whole lot of a good pick happening here. But let's take a look at the stats anyways. Let's take a look at the quarterback and how the rest of the guys played. I seen Aaron Jones had a breakout at one point, so must have had a good game at least, if not a good season. This would be an amazing season for Jordan Love. I would say more realistically, 22 to 24 touchdowns, maybe like 3,600 yards. That would be great. That would definitely be more realistic and also great. Rushing, Aaron Jones is great. A.J. Dillon stole a bunch of touchdowns. Watson was amazing. Reed was really good. Dobbs was really good. And sadly, in Matt LaFleur's Green Bay scheme here in Madden, don't really use the tight end too much, and you definitely don't use the tight end too much. If that's what Tucker Kraft ended with, and it wasn't because of an injury, hell, even if it was because of an injury, that would be madly disappointing, especially since, once again, I really like Tucker Kraft. I think I said, I think he could be a better player than Musgrave, might be the better player. That would be really disappointing. Offensive line, Zach Tom wasn't great, but the rest was amazing. And then Rashawn Gary with a 10-sack season. Wood at 7-5 is all right. Lukas Van Ness, that is terrible, but as far as where he's expected to finish, maybe, he'd be a rotational guy early on, I'd imagine, basically like in college. But yeah, not great, obviously. Why it wasn't great. Rasul Douglas maybe goes to star, but doesn't really matter too much. He's an older number 3 type corner. Anders Carlson, that would be great, but I just don't, like I said, I just don't see it, dude. I just think it was a bad pick. It was too high as well. But let's take a look at the awards. Dak gets MVP. Any other award wins? Christian Watson probably doesn't deserve that, but he's in the dev up no matter what because of the yards. And Rasul Douglas, best DB. Is he going to go to potentially superstar because of the dev up from picks and then the dev up from DB? I mean, that's fair because he won dev up. He won the dev up. It's not like he's a rookie or anything. That's fair. Whereas Watson, maybe we take that off because shouldn't be rookie of the year. But that's fair enough. That's interesting, I suppose. But let's go into this divisional round. I don't know, dude. I'm just playing it how it lies. The Bears at the playoffs at 8-9. Fair enough. It'd be really fitting for us to lose to them somehow. But 84 overall to their 82. They have Zeke. Obviously, Tremaine Edmonds, the big signing, big trade with DJ Moore. It was a really good offseason, especially for the trade itself. Could be absolutely insane if Houston's a top 5 pick again. But let's see. Packers up 7-0. Still 7-0. 10-0. These Packers-Bears playoff games are always super low scoring. 10-3, and that should be the win with 17-3, 17-10. Did enough. 20-10. It's a very Packers versus Bears playoff game, like I said. Winning a Super Bowl year 1 with Jordan Love sure would be something, let me tell you that much. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Hopefully he goes up in dev at least, because, if this season doesn't result in a Super Bowl win, then I wouldn't say it's all for nothing, but if he doesn't go up in dev, that would be a huge L. So, yeah, kind of want that. Christian Watson obviously had a really good season, so we're going to keep upgrading him. Didn't go up in overall. He's now 80 overall with the +3 to morale. Short round 4, though. That's pretty cooked. We'll take it. The conference round, I didn't even think about it, but the Bears actually had to beat a team to get there. The Falcons, 9-8. Don't know what it is about the Falcons scheme, but it's just good. It's just good in Sim. All right, going to the end of the game. Didn't score a whole lot last week, but we didn't need to. 10-0. The Falcons are a pretty good scheme on offense, like I said. So probably need to score at least 24 points to win this game. 17-6 already on our way. 24-6. I mean, if I'm right, well, they've exceeded that. This team is headed to the Super Bowl in year 1. I'm trying to think of all the rebuilds we've had for the Packers. I don't think we've had this kind of success. I didn't change any of the schemes either, so you can't even complain about that. And as a Packers fan, I get it. Not everyone watches me. Some people watch a brand new rebuild and they're like, "Oh, this guy's an idiot because he's a Packers homer." That's the reason why. But the ultimate thing for me is the content itself. I don't give a damn if the Bears are the best team in the rebuild. If it makes for a better video. I don't care. It's a Madden video. I don't give a damn about what the Packers do in Madden because it's a video game, right? So I'm trying to build a team up here in a fun, natural way. I'm not going to force wins because I'm a Packers fan. I want them to do well in a video game, all right? That is stupidity, and I don't know why anyone would even care about that. That just makes zero sense. But with that being said, the Packers, who are not really expected to make a run next season, have officially made a run here as the Miami Dolphins, the NFC or the Jets rival, is now in the Super Bowl against us. For the dev-ups, Jordan Love does go up in dev, which means he's now a technically 74 overall. Jaden Reed went up in dev, no Dobbs, which is really sucky because I was hoping he would have been the one to go up in dev. And then, of course, Christian Watson is a superstar. I guess I don't know if I want Playmaker to be his highest thing, though, do I? Juke Move Plus. I think it'd be interesting, so hopefully he does he doesn't go to Playmaker, dude. But it'd be interesting to put him there because I'd like to see another 4 short route. I'd like to see how he finishes his career here or this rebuild with Playmaker on because I'm pretty sure it is the best upgrades, but I suppose slot is not a bad upgrade either. So either way, he's winning. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we had just Douglas, I believe, which I guess is not crazy unexpected, but we'll take it. We'll take any dev up we can get, but I would love to see, for whatever reason, a Wyatt, a Wooden, a Van Ness, Devondre, Quay, any of those guys, really. But what can you do? It wasn't the greatest defensive performance. It was more of an offensive attack that got us here. But we are an 84 overall versus the 85 overall Dolphins, so the hardest team we've had to face. Very easy playoff schedule, not going to lie, two really not-so-great teams. But now the Miami Dolphins, definitely a team that, depending on what kind of Tua you're getting, assuming he's playing the full season and doesn't have to retire midseason potentially, because that is a very realistic option. If he gets hit in the head again, dude, I don't know, dude. I couldn't do it. I get it, but I don't know if I could do it. But yeah, if he stays healthy, this is a team that also can compete. So it makes sense. The Dolphins make sense. Maybe not so much us, but the Dolphins make sense. Like I said, Jordan Love is such a question mark, we just don't know. But the Dolphins definitely would be a team that you'd be like, oh, they made the Super Bowl. Okay. I mean, I could see it. Fair enough. Also, if we win the Super Bowl, I don't know what to think. Honestly, if we get into a spot where, we need me to come in to win it, I don't know if I want to. Because, do we really deserve to win it here? I do want to see this, though. 3rd and 18. I mean, it's looking kind of... I'm just going to let him... whatever, I'll just cover 3. The clock was running. So, if I didn't come in there, there's a good chance that they just don't even get the playoff. Wooden. I think Wyatt's probably worse than Wooden at this point. I'm going to try to force into the double. There is no double. Well, I kind of just did what I did, as Rasul Douglas would get absolutely punched on for running back any part of that ball. I guess it's a 3-season rebuild, as we have a chance to become a dynasty? Okay, I mean, sure. The Green Bay Packers are world champions in year 1 of this rebuild. Okay. All right. Yeah, that whole, he doesn't want to, he's trying to force the Packers to win a Super Bowl because he's a Packers fan, wants to make them look good. Man, does it actually look like that's a thing, because this team winning a Super Bowl, they have made the Super Bowl quite a bit in recent sims, but typically that's after they lose Love and then they get some rookie quarterback. So to see it with Love is a little different. Yeah, definitely going to develop Love or try to develop here. 74 overall star dev at 24 is usable. It's doable. Be interesting to see what his ratings are. It would be sick to see Jordan Love win a Super Bowl, though. Be very interesting. Super Rodgers fan, but at the end of the day, you got to let him go, and there was obviously some underperformances and some missed opportunities with that organization and him. Don't know how the hell he ended up throwing a football, but sure. Jordan Love played well again in the playoffs. Run game has been pretty bad, though, not going to lie. I don't know how this team won. I don't. And also, Rashawn Gary and Van Ness been killing it in the playoffs. I don't know how they won. I really don't, because the receivers are low overalls. The quarterback's a low overall. Half the O-line's a low overall. When we're talking about real life, like I said, that O-line is top to bottom very, very good at pass blocking, even though they're pretty badly rated in game. But, yeah, I just don't know how this team won the Super Bowl. I really don't. I guess Watson is an 82 overall now, so he's pretty decent, but yeah, I don't. We'll take it, I guess. It's going to make for a weird one. I mean, you can see here, I didn't force any games or anything like that. Miami 52-38, and then when they faced us, only 20 points. Elite defense for Green Bay, I guess. Joe Barry, apologies. Not really, because that's just Joe Barry having a good defense. That's the most unrealistic thing here. I mean, Green Bay can win all 17 games, but that defense, not going to be rated highly. If they win 17 games, it's not going to be because of the defense, I'll tell you that much. But let's take a look at our re-signings. I'm pretty sure we re-signed everyone we needed to. Even with the safeties, low overall safeties. I mean, this is a pretty mid-level team. This is like maybe a top 15 team, yet they won the Super Bowl. So I guess when, we have a team that's like 95 overall and the rest are like 88 and we don't win the Super Bowl, we don't even make the playoffs, I guess I have to look back at this rebuild and be like, well, you won a Super Bowl with this team year one, so can't win them all, I guess, but you can win some, as you've proven it. 83 overall, we've lost a little bit in overall, but, I mean, realistically, the only thing we need is a safety. Well, maybe not only thing, but safety is one of the bigger needs, I suppose. But, yeah, looking at what we need, I guess Jordan Love wasn't even a 74 overall. I don't even know how that happens, but I use an upgrade, and now he's 74. Yeah, math is hard. Dobbs, like I said, I like him in real life, and I think he has all the potential in the world. 76 overall, 23-year-old. He is normal dev, and obviously we just won a Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers scheme, so I can't really change the scheme. If there's a sick wide receiver, I think we take him, but as of right now, I'd probably just keep the receiving group the way it is. Tight ends are great, but once again, Tucker Kraft is being wasted here. Not really much I can do, because got to keep it as the Packers scheme, even though I think there's very much so signs that it is going to change drastically. You're going to see a lot more 12 personnel. The run game is going to be alive. I don't know if I'm going to like being a Packers fan this year, to be honest. Even if they win games, I'm not a huge fan of a super run-heavy team, and that's the way this team is definitely transpiring, even if the offensive line is significantly better at pass blocking. I'm not a huge fan of just run game teams, so I don't know if I'm going to have fun watching if that's the case, but that's definitely the way it looks like it's headed. So, we probably should change the scheme, but at the same time, we just won with it. So I think you kind of have to just roll with it. But obviously, Van Ness is the outside linebacker. So a left end / right end, probably stick with Wooden. Left end wouldn't hurt. Safety, obviously, is what we need. Corners are fine. Technically, 2 safeties is what we need. O-line wouldn't hurt, especially in Madden. Right tackle for sure. Maybe center. And then we'll keep our eye out on a wide receiver as Dobbs. He's still got potential, but he's obviously not like the best. I've been trying to get Deshaun Elliott for some time now in Sim and or in rebuilds, and I haven't been able to. Showing some interest in us. Obviously, we just won a Super Bowl. Don't know if I have that kind of interest in him, though. See what that interest is. So, I'll try to get him. We need a safety, but I probably would rather go youth if we can. So I probably, I'm not going to go any higher than that. And other positions, I don't really know if there's much more here for us. Devondre is obviously still the starter, and DT's not really the greatest here. Fletcher Cox would be a nice rotational, but kind of see him as a Eagle retiree. And O-line, Terrence Steele's decent, but I don't think we're going to be able to pay him. So, yeah, I guess we'll try Deshaun Elliott. That doesn't work out. It's all draft for us with that extra capital. Should be able to do something. And we actually got him. Okay, so for once, I get Deshaun Elliott. Win. Also, I'm going to kill Darnell Savage's bonus. I'm not going to kill Darnell Savage. I don't hate him or anything like that. It sucks that he didn't really develop. And, he's got one last season here, but doesn't seem to be the guy. But yeah, I was gonna kill his cap hit and release him. Relax, it ain't that serious. So I'm only grabbing the Jets pick now, but apparently it was 14. As much as I think that the Jets are almost a lock for the playoffs, they physically aren't, obviously, because no one really, no one's guaranteed anything. But more importantly, I also don't think we are a Super Bowl team in real life, so it kind of like balances out, if you will. It's like we should have had 2 better picks where we didn't. But I don't know. It's just weird. I'm just playing it as it lies. And I suppose I could have changed it at any time, but, these were the schemes I used. I didn't change. Normally, I would actually change to vertical zone. Maybe vertical zone run isn't the best. I'm going to keep it as West Coast. And, it is what it is. We'll just cook up 2 more seasons. Even if the next 2 seasons are complete flukes, there's nothing else you can do about it, right? Like, we won a Super Bowl year 1. You can't really do much better than winning another Super Bowl. And, if it takes another 3 or 4 seasons, it'd be no point. Whereas if we win one in the next 2, dynasty technically. We also have 5th-year options, which I don't know if they're actually, they're not valid. So obviously Jordan Love, I actually did change his contract too when I started this. I might have actually paid him too much because I turned his 3rd out of 4th into a 30 mil, which technically it should have been less than that. So, we've already paid him more than he should. But obviously now, if we want to keep him, we need to re-sign him properly, which after last season would probably be easily 35 plus. Whereas, I don't know what they're going to ask for in the game. I'm going to have to try to keep it, semi-realistic. I don't want to offer him, way over what he's asking for, but I also don't want to give him like 10 mil per year when the season he had, obviously, is way better than that. All right, pick 14 in the first round from the Jets, which will be a trade down more than likely. I believe I do have a couple of guys at like 1 or 2, but I think I have those same positions later on, so there's probably no point in doing that. We did have, actually, Ben Gregory. See, the thing is, there's other DTs that look pretty good too. I scouted, who the hell? Oh, Daniels was an L. He was an A to C block shed, and he ended up becoming a C, which kind of sucks. But as far as what we have here, I think we're going to move on because the 2 1-2s are DT types, which I didn't get to scout Conley Fuller more fully, but Gregory does look good, but not a great pass rusher. And I suppose technically Wyatt is still decent. He's like 80 finesse. 25 years old is definitely on the older side, but he does have that 80 plus finesse, which is pretty good, I suppose. I want to keep this for this year if I can. Wow, the Rams are offering us a lot. That seems kind of busted though, right? A full first next year with a high second this year. I guess 14. Nah, that's fair actually. 14 is way up there, especially if this is for a quarterback, which it is. And that was the guy that had a bunch of A's, I think. So I don't feel bad. That is absolutely a fair trade. They were going to have me feeling all bad and such. I'm going to try to turn this into like pick 10 in the second round. We're trying to add value, but more importantly, we just don't have guys that are, that high up there. 3rd next, I wouldn't hate. I'm going to take this pick from the Patriots. It's actually pretty nice for us. And I suppose it helps them. They get that 5th-year option. We definitely want a safety. There's a couple of players there. Should we start taking? We can still trade down, though. I feel bad because it's just like it feels cheesy trading down knowing your guys are going to be probably there and you're just gaining extra value when, you're still going to get what you want. But, I suppose that's how it goes. Pick 13. I think we do want to take a safety for sure. Like, we don't want to lose one of these players. So, Matthew Carr, the left tackle. I'm going to trade again. I don't care, dude. Because I want to make mad trade-ups into the second round because there's a lot of 2 to 3s that are great. 38. Can I get like 40? Yeah, 44 is pretty good. Hopefully I didn't cuck myself too hard here because we are dropping back a bit. But we're going to go to 12 and hope everyone's still there. Oh, Weber was one of my linemen, actually. Hopefully Carr is still there. I'm going to look like such an idiot because Carr looks great. And Carr's there. Matthew Carr, potentially the new right tackle. Not the strongest guy, but those key ratings look ridiculous. And he's hidden development trait, starting right tackle. That's, obviously, when it comes to linemen, that's all that matters. The dev. He could have all those key ratings he wants, but if that dev sucks, unless he's some mad 78 overall, which is super rare to get, it's just a straight up L. But I believe we have a 2 to 3 safety. Also, Cam Sharp looks really solid, and he was he was said by EA. It's like, oh, here's a prospect guy. Those guys are a little iffy in dev a lot of the times, but still, Reed wasn't great, so I'm going to take the chance on Phillips. Phillips looked better, so I decided to scout Reed more. Phillips is slower, but those ratings look great, so I'm going to take the chance. Sadly, normal development trait, but I would imagine the projected starting free safety or Deshaun Elliott plays free safety, one of the two, don't really have much options at safety, and obviously he's at least young, and he might still be a decent overall because obviously those key ratings look great. And even though Sharp looks decent, I also have Baldwin, so I'm actually just going to go to pick 32. I don't really need Sharp. I'm curious because, once again, he was on the prospect spotlight, but as far as, like, do I actually need him? Probably not. And even though we made all those trade downs, we don't really have that many draft picks here, so I mean, I feel like we made a pretty decent call with those trade downs because even after all of them, we're still lacking. I definitely want Tim James. I guess I want McCollum, and I definitely want Baldwin. So I guess we're going to start this thing out with Baldwin, as he's not the biggest need right now, but Devontae is definitely on his way out soon. Super athlete here, even though he's kind of undersized, and he's only 21. So win, and he's hitting. Super win. Super win. Nice. This is actually a really good draft class as well. I might have to trade up multiple times. I'm going to trade up now to get Allen, because outside of that, I think I'm cool with losing everyone else, but Allen looks amazing. I think his name was it Allen or Jones? I don't know, but thank you. Okay, didn't want to do that, but this lineman is probably worth it, and we still have that high fourth, so trade ups after all the trade downs. It be how it be. All right, so Tim James looked, it wasn't even Allen at all. Young, looks great. Please be hidden. Yes, we're done. I mean, Josh Myers could be replaced too, but I mean, he played really well, so why would I replace him just now? Yeah, we could use one more lineman for Myers, like I said, but we're technically done with O-line, which is great. And as far as what we want to do to trade up for, I guess we go for McCollum, and then honestly, we could probably call it a draft. I'd like to get a running back like Clayton. Probably wait until one of them, either it being Darden or Clayton, goes, just to have a replacement for Dillon. I don't know if it's worth paying Dillon. He had a bunch of touchdowns, but his yards per carry weren't great. So we trade 36, 122 next year with Zach Tom for 70 this, which would make Zach Tom like a 5th round pick, which after all the sacks he's allowed, I think he's easily maybe worse than that. So with this pick, we are going to be taking McCollum as a kind of safety measure. He's 21 as well, which is amazing. For Devontae Wyatt. And I was about to say before I clicked that, if he's hidden, he might just start. He's like very similar to Wyatt, but not 25 years old, which is really awesome. That's, you know, a pretty big factor for it. Also, I didn't even really think about it, but like, did I not just draft a replacement for Runyon on accident? Like, can I not actually just trade Josh Myers off? Josh Myers is a pretty high pick. Josh Myers in like a 4th next year, I think, would easily be worth 79. And they're broke. Nice. But yeah, we kind of just replace Josh Myers without wanting to. I think he's actually not bad in real life, but obviously everyone and their mother, besides, of course, the Green Bay Packers front office, knew Creed Humphrey was going to be better out the gate and was the better center, and they decided to go crazy like they do and sold tremendously high. So there's always that fun. But with this trade up, I believe we're going to be taking the safety Walter Reed. Didn't like the dev of the last guy. Taking a chance that this guy might be just as good. And if not, we do need that depth. Very solid athleticism. Probably going to be 90s across the board. And he's hidden, so he's probably the starter. Going to be starting over the guy that we took a bit higher than this at that safety spot. So, I mean, double dipped on safety, but it ended up working out as we got a hidden. But we'll say if the other safety is significantly higher overall, we might have ourselves a bit of a battle at who gets to start. Darden goes. I don't know if I really want to go for a running back here. Oh, I was just about to say, if Clayton was there at the start of the 4th, I would have traded up for him, and he's gone. Of course, dude. Of course. Oh, this could have been the perfect draft. I mean, I assume he's decent. He is really, really good at breaking tackles, it seemed, and was pretty athletic. I suppose with this pick, we're going to go with Daniel Harper, even though we don't really need the center. Might as well. It looks decent. So I go from future backup running back, solved, set, to a normal dev center who's super small. Nice. That sucks. And then even though we don't really need the quarterback, I mean, I might as well just take what I want at this rate. And he's gone. Okay, never mind. Yeah, lots of trading. But that's what we do in the offseason. That's what, it's a smart thing to do. Why take someone super high when you don't need to? And I guess the Niners, who are obviously super friendly with the Packers, these teams love each other. We get a 4th round pick from, which, considering we're at the last pick in the 5th, that is definitely a win. Even if they win the Super Bowl, that's still a full round jumped. But obviously, there's, it's not guaranteed that they win that Super Bowl. And then with this pick, we probably look for a fullback slash kicker punter. I think we need a punter kind of bad. Okay, I don't know who the hell this guy is. Oh, I want him so bad, though. I think he's a special player. Like, EA has all those types of special players, like the 390-pound DTs. I bet you he's a special player that can, like, play quarterback or something. He looks insane. I want to see him. And while looking for a punter, I found myself a nice kicker who is apparently a generational. Does anyone want to play punter, maybe? Because Carlson was great, but that guy is a literal generational punter. Nice. Crazy to think, if there was actually a decent punter there, I would have never seen that guy. That's what's kind of crazy about it. Well, here we go. Let's take a look at this team. Left tackle's really low overall. And like I said, with that safety, 3 overalls higher, I'm curious to see that zone and whatnot. So, hit power is 88. The free safety is, or the other safety is 12 less. 4 less tackle, 3 less block shed, 6 less pursuit, 7 less zone. 1 better zone. I mean, it's not even close. Phillips is definitely the better of the two, but he's also not hidden dead. But he's also 22, so I think I have to start the hidden. They're both 21. You maybe have an argument, but 22, I don't know. These two guys sucked. Kicker obviously is great. He's generational. Punter, or the center's okay. McCollum. I don't know what these devs are. Probably doesn't matter too much right now, but I guess I don't want people to think, oh, he's forcing devs. Good pass blocker. This is a very Packers pick, let me tell you. He's going to be our number 1 right tackle, Mr. Matthew Carr, with a dev of star, but it's still good. He's a good player. Baldwin, the future middle linebacker. Not quite yet, obviously. Blockshed's going to suck. He's actually pretty good all around. Great jumping as well. Catching sucks, but middle linebacker is only 21 years old. We absolutely take that. So he will be the future once Devontae's gone. Superstar, that's a win. AJ Hawk. I mean, AJ Hawk's been gone for a while now, but I'll put him at 53 anyways. Right guard, who I think, is he smaller? Not quite, to be honest. I guess is going to be our center because we traded Josh Myers off. Myers doesn't have hidden. This guy does. What can I tell you? Probably should have kept Myers, though, because he was good. Star dev. Anyone else with dev? McCollum. I think he would be a left end, right? Not quite as good as Devontae Wyatt, but at the same time, hidden development trait. Star dev early, 92, interesting number. What else? The safety, I guess. He would be a free safety. You know, we've already looked at the ratings. Not as good as the other guy, but he is hidden, which is significant. He's also 1 year younger, which plays a little bit of a factor too. 31 and star dev. So he's not great, but I don't know. We'll see. It was a good draft. All right, season 2 of a 3-year Packers rebuild. Yep, that's what I expected. Only a few normal dev players remaining. Runyon, who's really good, played really well. And Dobbs, who was actually pretty good, just didn't get the dev up, whereas Reed did. 75 overall. Maybe he should be the number 2 wide receiver. 5'11". You know, release kind of sucks, but route running's pretty solid. Catching's decent. He's obviously pretty athletic, but going to keep it as is. Christian Watson seems to be the real deal. Aaron Jones is the real deal. Jordan Love looked pretty good. We'll see how he plays this season. Tight ends, obviously Tucker Kraft's being wasted, but been over this with the scheme. Can't really change that, as we just won a Super Bowl with it. D-line, I'm going to give Wyatt one more season, but halfway through the season, even though he's not supposed to be some guy that puts up double-digit sacks, if he's not even close to double-digit, I'm probably going to have to start McCollum, because double-digit sacks is like basically the only way to get overall upgrades in the game, especially when you're 25 years old star. But yeah, I mean, the team looks pretty good. We have our middle linebacker replacement for Campbell, and edge looks great. Safeties are solid. Corners are great. We even have our left end replacement for Wyatt. So there's actually nothing we need on defense. Maybe a QB, because we don't know if Jordan Love's going to play really well and get that extra contract. Probably wide receiver 2, and a guard wouldn't hurt, maybe. But overall, this team, honestly, if it develops right, is already almost built. I mean, they won the Super Bowl, so technically they're already built. It's weird, dude. All right, not as strong of a season as last time. Gary needs a contract. We can afford it. Runyon needs a contract. We can afford it. Jordan Love's asking for about 20 mil per year over 4. I want to see how he's playing before we do make that contract decision, though. Pretty good. I mean, kind of on par for last season's numbers, a little bit less accurate. I'd say he's probably worth, let's see, what's a 25 mil per year is pretty low for a guy that's kind of in his prime. Let's see. This 4-year 110. I think a 4-year 110 is fair. I think he'd probably be worth even more than that, to be honest, but not having as good of a season, and you could always argue that the run game around him is playing really well, so maybe that's another reason why he's doing so well, but we're pretty broke after that. A 5-year 110 for Gary, that's even on the low end, but numbers haven't been crazy great, so that one I'm a little more okay with. And Runyon, we now cannot afford. Same with A.J. Dillon, sadly. We might still be in no matter what, but if we win, I believe we're guaranteed to be in. And yeah, we're still in, but we lost. No bye week this time, but still in the playoffs. Had a little bit of a shaky one, and the Bears are better than they were last season, so there's that. Let's take a look at the season. Lost to the Vikings. The Bears lost to the Raiders. The Lions by a lot. The Vikings again. The Falcons, and then the Panthers. How good were the Vikings? They were like really bad the first season, yet they beat us twice there. 8 and 9. We almost single-handedly got them in the damn playoffs. Looking at the numbers, Jordan Love, technically better than last year, I would say. And rushing was just as good. So it's not like, well, maybe yards per carry weren't as good, but the touchdowns were just as good. So it's not like he stole all the touchdowns from the running backs. Receiving, Watson was great again. Dobbs, great again. Musgrave, better. Reed, way worse. Blocking, actually better. Usually the rookies, they struggle, but 7 sacks allowed is very good. Sack totals, Van Ness with 11.5. Gary with only 7. 7 for Wyatt. Okay. Wooden 3.5, and then Kenny Clark doesn't play, apparently. Looking at the interceptions, Elliott with 3. Kicking, I didn't actually put him as a starter, but he definitely should have been because he's a generational. Basically, once again, you're looking at Anders Carlson. He actually had a really good year. But basically, the definition of this kicker would be like if you were to put him out there in practice and he was hitting literally every 50-plus yarder, every 60-plus yarder, every 40-yarder, because he's a generational, right? Even though he sucked here, considering he is 99 kick power, 86 kick accuracy now, I kind of had to start him, and that number is disgusting. Pat O'Donnell, probably gone, but if we can afford him, I'd like to keep him because he's playing pretty well. Kick return, punt return game, no touchdowns, sadly. And then looking at the numbers, yards were a little bit down, it seems, but overall, very good season nonetheless. No MVP, recognition, which kind of sucks. Gregory, who we were actually debating on going for, ended up becoming the Rookie of the Year. Quarterback is Love at number 10. Okay. Not on the list for running back. Wide receiver at number 4. O-line at number 5. The guy we're losing, ironically enough. Linebacker, number 3 for Van Ness. DB, number 7 for Elliott. And then kicker, definitely on the list because he was awful. But another playoff berth and another playoff, series where we start off playing against the Bears. I don't know if that's, a good luck charm, but maybe, as we are going to go into this one. Fletcher Cox is on their team now, so another veteran. Good weather game, maybe a little cold probably, but let's see. Can we win back-to-back? All right, up 7-3, 7-10 now. Still 7-10, 7-13. Come on, nice touchdown. Puts us up by 1 at halftime. Up by 8. No, not 8, 7. Up by 5. Touchdown, nice. Up by 12, and that will be the win as we actually poured it on really hard in the second half, specifically the fourth quarter. And with that, we'll head to the divisional round yet again. Obviously, last week we didn't have to play in the wild card to get there, but we are back-to-back no matter what. Jordan Love killed it. Fields was pretty bad. Jones been pretty bad in the playoffs. Did all right there, I suppose. Dobbs was great. Musgrave was great. Watson was great. Watson has been really good in this rebuild, I can't lie. Sacks were okay. Jair with a pick. Kicking was perfect both sides, even though we didn't kick a field goal. Here we are, divisional round. The Falcons as well. Okay, deja vu much. We'll take it as, history repeating itself. Obviously, this time, if we win this, we'll have to play a different team because, we have an extra game to play. But this is kind of crazy time, refacing the same teams that we had to face to get to the Super Bowl in the first place. I mean, that'd be kind of crazy to win it, but obviously that championship round will feature someone new. 14-3. We're talking about this last season where that offense, that scheme is good, but didn't do that well last time. This time, though, nice turnaround from us, up by 6, up by 9, up by 6 again. Falcons may take the lead. They don't. It's a close battle. Okay, so I don't know who has the ball here. Moving the ball nicely. It's going to come down to this kicker who's iffy. I mean, are they actually going to kick this thing? Call the timeout for them. As long as they kick it. I mean, if they miss it, they miss it. But as long as they kick the field goal, that's all I care about. And knowing EA, they probably won't. Here they are, and I didn't get to see it. They win the game, headed to the championship round. A very close, squeaky bum time one. But a win nonetheless. Jordan Love was not as good as normal, but didn't throw any interceptions. So, had a couple of rushing touchdowns as a team. As long as you don't throw any interceptions, no one cares how many touchdowns you have. Just don't hurt your team. It doesn't matter if you're really helping them all that much, as long as you're not hurting them. Plus, obviously, driving down the field, getting points some way or another is still scoring points, even if it's not you directly. But championship round, so basically what? 5 straight playoff wins, which is pretty impressive, obviously. 5-0 in the playoffs is no joke. Let's see if we can face against a beatable team here in the championship round, as we are an 87 overall, so we're pretty good. We're probably top 5 roster, top 10 at worst. The Panthers, this is a team that has won a lot in Sim lately. Bryce Young, the superstar plus. And it's a rainy one. This one the Panthers are a good run team, but I don't know if they have the running talent that we have. So this should, in fact, in theory, be a bonus, right? I guess we don't run the ball that much, but we should have the better running backs. 7 all, 7 of 14, 14 to 14. It's a really good game so far. 21-14, 21 all. And, all right. I mean, here we go. This is a game. 28-21, 28-28. Uh-oh, here it is. The Panthers are now up by 3. 4th and 8. They're going to go for it. I agree. We already won that one Super Bowl, so winning another one wouldn't mean as much, I suppose. So I guess I'll come in and try to win this game for them. Musgrave, he's open! Burns! He's running! I almost felt like I had to force it to him, and he just broke free out of nowhere. He was naked. Up by, one would assume, 4, or not, because it's blocked. Field goal ties the game up. The Panthers are like, screw a field goal. No, they aren't. They missed, and we're headed to the Super Bowl again. Wow. All right. This Packers team is kind of cooking. Jordan Love does Jordan Love's things. Aaron Jones, I guess, technically did play better because he didn't have that 49-yard run, more consistent. Receiving, I forgot about Thielen. Dobbs is pretty decent. Watson was all right. Jaden Reed was pretty good. And Musgrave, really good again, obviously, because of that big play we had. Lukas Van Ness finally showing up. Jair with another pick. And then their kicker missing. We obviously missed the extra point, which would have killed that, field goal anyways, but still had a chance to tie it up, and Boswell misses, who's usually really good in Sim, but I guess not this time. Yeah, I'm starting to think that Playmaker is pretty good. 3 to medium route. But here it is, the Super Bowl. We know it's against the Chiefs. We have seen this Packers versus Chiefs matchup a lot when we're not one of the two teams, and we're just kind of, doing our own thing as we're watching ourselves not make the playoffs, and we're like, oh, here's Super Bowl again, Chiefs-Packers. But DevOps, none for Christian Watson. Really? Okay. Jordan Love wasn't quite good enough. 78 overall. What is he, 24 now? Supposed to be 25 technically, but there's only so much realism you can go with. If I progress the age of all of our players, then everyone else is going to be wrong across the league. So, what can I do about that? And then defensively, any DevOps? Van Ness, superstar. He's developing. He's pretty good. No one else with a DevOps, sadly, but only Van Ness, but also back-to-back Super Bowl trips. So it's like, well, it doesn't really matter because the team is good enough as is. So even if it doesn't progress, apparently it's good enough. But I don't know if we're going to win this one, as it is, once again, the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that will put up a lot of points on you. And let's get into this thing, I suppose. If this ends up becoming our best rebuild of the Madden 23 season, people are definitely going to be thinking that I'm cheating somehow just to make the Packers look good. 10-3, 10 all, nice. Green Bay, they had a chance, and I think they threw a pick. Another turnover, it seems. Huge rushing touchdown by, I would assume, Aaron Jones, but this is not looking good as the team goes for a field goal. No shot the coaching's that bad. That's it. That's a GG. Well, maybe not. They're moving down. Well, this you got to kick a field goal. They went for it on fourth. Wait, what? What? So now they decide not to kick a field. Are they serious? Bro, they were down 18. The field goal with 4 minutes left gives them a chance. And that's the time they decide not to go for the field goal. Are they joking? No shot they're that dumb. There's no shot. No effing way, bro. But I suppose, did we really think that that was going to happen? Did we really believe that, we were going to have a back-to-back Super Bowl win with the Packers? I personally didn't, but maybe you guys thought better than me. Yeah, Jordan Love sold in that one. Jordan Love sold in that one. That was a really bad performance from him, and ultimately it cost us the back-to-back, but we still have one more season to try and win a dynasty or become a dynasty. But at this rate, with the Chiefs winning this one, they're an even more impressive dynasty while we're going on. So it's like easily overshadowed. It's never going to, no one's ever going to take us seriously compared to them. 31 mil, we lost the guard and A.J. Dillon. We can easily get another running back, maybe even A.J. Dillon, depending on the price. I do think we should probably replace Dobbs, I guess. I don't know. But I don't think I'm going to do it in free agency. I don't want to pay him as Christian Watson's going to need a contract. They decided, well, maybe not just yet, but decided not to go and get into the first round for that fifth-year option, and it's going to hurt us potentially. Interior line wouldn't hurt, but yeah, realistically, the only thing we're going to be going for here would be a guard, which no one seems to want to join us, or a running back, which that's pretty cheap backup money anyways. We are in the draft, and apparently the Rams have given us pick 4 overall as a tight end goes number 1. And Evan Williams, is that the guy I was looking at? There was a really good edge rusher. Sad part is we don't really need him, but he looks really talented. And there he is, Mr. Roy Brown. 6'5", 256, 22 years old. I almost said 22 pounds. Elite strength, elite speed, elite excel with an A power move. I'm not saying this guy is generational, but he very well could be generational. The problem is, unless we put Lukas Van Ness on the interior, which I suppose he kind of has the size for it, I don't know if I need him. Yeah, you know what? We have this high of a pick. That wide receiver does look pretty good. I might be able to trade up for him, but do we really need him? He is pretty good, though. He's like super duper fast. A deep route with a round 1 talent grade. I think, I don't know, dude. We kind of need the wide receiver. This guy looks great, though. And Lukas Van Ness could play left end. I'm going to go wide receiver because we need it. Thankfully, he's hit a 97 speed. Man, that Roy Brown, though, he's good. I can already tell he's really good. We'll trade this pick down to the Titans for 39. I might take a guard in the second round here as he looks really strong, assuming he's even there. He has 42 bench press reps, really good key ratings. I think he's worth taking, despite the fact that we only need 1 lineman. Normally, I wouldn't go this high, but very solid. A, run block, B, pass block, A, awareness, 21 years old, and more importantly, 42 bench press reps. I have no choice but to grab him, and he's hidden with 97 strength. He's busted. I also didn't remember to scout the running backs, which we kind of need a backup. I don't remember even going for one. Whoops. There's probably going to be one there, though, anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But what do we want next? I suppose Williamson, because he has so many high potential grades, but at the same time, we don't really need him, but I probably will go for him. Don't need anyone else, though. Like, there's some solid players here. I'm going to trade. I'm going to grab Williamson now, because 3 to 4, I mean, best case, I'm going to move to, like, pick 8, gain, like, a 5th-round pick. Who gives a damn? Just going to grab Williamson now and just call it there. 6'1", 230, 22 years old with pretty good athleticism, and we're going to grab him. Hidden development trade as well, 86 speed, 91 excel. A little bit less, like, balance across the board for, speed and whatnot, but he's a solid-looking player. Let's go to the next round. I mean, everyone else is backups at this point, so there's really no point in me, like, going crazy with it. Peter Downey, interesting. Let's take a look at if anyone's still there. more linemen, which we don't really need anymore. I wish we would have ended up with one of the DTs in fairness, but yeah, do I just take one of these guys and then call it a draft? Pitts? Why not? Screw it, Pitts. Also hidden, so let's trade the rest down pretty much and, go on to this final season. Can we become a dynasty, or is year one the best it's going to get, even though last season we made the Super Bowl? So even if we don't actually win another one, this one has been a pretty busted rebuild. Johnny Rushing in the 6th round, or late 5th, I believe. 96 speed, 98 excel, 5'8", pretty fun-looking player, but, didn't really necessarily need him. Just grabbed him because he was my last remaining player on my board. And we also do need a punter, so we're going to just probably take whoever the highest kick power punter is. This is like the only decent punter there, and he is hidden, but 89 kick power, good accuracy. Every other guy was like the best they were was good kick power with like D accuracy, F accuracy, so took Kroger. But I suppose he is a hidden development trait player, so yeah, I don't think he's going to be a superstar, but he might be, star, obviously. I also took some random... Oh, he's not random. He's 6'8". I haven't seen a 6'8" guy in ages. I was just going down the list for the most athletic players. Saw this 6'8" beast. Didn't know he was 6'8", though. I seen that he was pretty athletic, and that was about it. All right, we'll take him. Why not? All right, let's take a look at the draft recap. 78 overall. What about, the tight end's trash. But Hyde, 76 overall wide receiver. I guess wide receiver number 2. Dobbs goes from, even though he's playing well, to... starter from basically like the 4th string now. What's the dev? Nah, it's a contract. Superstar. Oh, yeah, well, he's obviously starting. Then what number looks cool? 3, I guess. Why not? What about this guard? Is he a generational? Pass blocking, his power blocking really sucks for a guy that's huge and strong, which makes no sense. But let's take a look at his dev. Probably superstar, right? Or not. Okay, superstar is not happening there. 75 overall for the linebacker, Braden Williamson. 78 block shed. He's pretty good. His coverage kind of sucks. He's the middle linebacker technically. Let's take a look at what his dev is. It is star. He's still a really good player. This is pretty good overalls, though. And then Pitts, 76 overall for the center. He's kind of a weird player. He's like not great at finesse, but he has like 1 good finesse rating. Start development. This is a really good draft class, though. Like, really good. Let's take a look at the punter, because I'm kind of curious. His dev, accuracy, 78. I mean, it's 89 overall, or 89 kick power. He's decent, I guess. The dev is star dev, so, exists. And then the tight end, who's only a 63 overall, but superstar and 6'8". Looks decent. Is a fun project player, I suppose. What's his dev? Probably only star. It is only star, but... usable, I guess 84. We got our 3 tight ends now, I guess. And I do want to take a look at one more player, that pass rusher, wherever he went. He went all the way to 18. He's got to be, I was about to say, got to be normal, but he's not. Hidden development trait, 88 speed, 90 excel, 81 power move, 78 block shed, even has a little finesse. This guy's got to be at least a superstar. I like our wide receiver, but this guy is great. Oh, wow! Superstar X Factor. No shot he fell that far when he's that good. That's insanity. And he went to a team that's not even going to use him as a pass rusher, which is the biggest crime out of all of them. It's a good draft for us, but man, that edge was nice. Let's take a look at Dobbs before we decide who's going to start. That guy's a superstar, though. Dobbs, do we trade him away? He needs a contract soon-ish. He's a good player. He's got to be worth at least a 3rd-round pick at this point. We kind of just scammed him, to be honest. We've he's playing well, but because he's not getting the dev ups, we know his ceiling's not the greatest. So we kind of just replaced him for absolutely nothing. I'm going to see if I can get like a decent 3rd for him. Dobbs to the Chiefs for 87. That's a Chiefs move if I've ever seen it. Darden must have decent dev because it took Harper a 4th and a 6th to get him. We wanted either him or Clayton. And we'll see what dev he is. I don't really care. I just needed a backup. Normal dev, it took all that. He's good, but like, okay, I guess. But well, we got our players now, I suppose. And Anders Carlson, even though he played well, I guess is released. I don't know. It's kind of unrealistic, but who cares? We got a generational kicker, so why would I keep that guy? The third and final season, Christian Watson, 87 overall. Aaron Jones is still great. Jordan Love has played great. He's a decent overall. Should easily get over 80. Hyde is the new number 2 with Reed as number 3. Sorry, Dobbs. Tight ends look great. The O-line looks better, I suppose. You don't really need to replace anyone other than maybe Bakhtiari soon enough. He's only 32, maybe 33 real life, but he's fine. And then defensively, we moved Quay to the number 1 spot to get him more development time. Baldwin, the superstar, still waiting to start. I suppose Devondre will probably be gone. Maybe we'll get rid of him next season, but it doesn't really matter because we'll be gone. But this is the team for the chance to win 2 Super Bowls out of 3 years. $100 million and some big names to resign. Is Musgrave already one of them? I'm pretty sure I gave every rookie a 4-year deal except for Lukas Van Ness, who got the 5. Oh, I guess I forgot. So not yet for Mr. Musgrave, which will save us a little bit of money. Stokes will give him the 5-year deal worth 45. That seems pretty good. What else do we have? Clark should get the deal. None of these guys will get the deal. Aaron Jones, if we can get him for under like 11 per, will. David Bakhtiari probably gets the deal as well. So everyone but Rasul, Nixon, Slayton, and Nichols, I guess. If we win, we should be in. If we lose, I don't know. So we're about to find out. And did we? We won and we are in, which is pretty clutch. 10-7. We had a really bad start to the season. We were like 1-4. Finished out 10-7, which is impressive. Nice win streak near the end. Kept the same schemes all the way through. So just saying, if we beat the Rams here, it'd be kind of crazy because not only do they have a really high pick, but you know, if they would have beat us, they'd probably knock us out of the playoffs. But instead, we are in by the skin of our teeth. It would assume. Jordan Love, another really good season. Rushing, you know, similar as before. Rushing touchdowns are low, though. Hyde, great season. Watson, a little bit of a down year, but still good. Reed, very, decent. Tight end season, really bad. Looking at the blocking, Bakhtiari, who just got a 2-year 48, was terrible. Carr with another 7 sacks allowed season. Van Ness, worse than before. Gary with 8.5, 9 for Clark. Interceptions, Jair with 2. Phillips with 2. Who's the backup at like all the positions for safety. Womack, way better than last year. Kroger, really good year. Kick return, punt return game with no touchdowns yet again. Haven't really been winning many awards, but let's see if we got any, as Ritter is now a MVP of the league, apparently. Any award wins at all, might have been some that we're close on, but as far as actually winning them goes, did not happen. But 3 straight playoff seasons. Can it be 3 straight Super Bowl appearances with 2 wins out of 3, maybe? 82 overall for them. We are much higher than that, and Donald's still around. Going to the end of the game, the Rams get 3, we get nothing. They get 7, we get nothing. They get another 7, we get nothing. They get another 7, we get nothing. They get another 3, we get nothing. They get another 7. It's 34-7, 34-10, 34-18, 34-21, 42-21, 48, 49-28. And this is a crazy one. If we won this game, it would be the craziest comeback in NFL history, and there has been some crazy ones. We're down by 7, although they're moving. This is going to take a lot. 10 points. I kind of want to see it happen, and they're doing it on their own. This is insanity. Okay, that could be it. That is a lot of yards. This is the craziest sim I've ever seen. Like, this is ridiculous. Their quarterback about to beat us. The guy that we helped them get. And we missed the tackle on Harris, and the game is over. No 3 straight wins as we have lost in the wild card round to the Rams 52-49. Over 100 points scored. Wow. This team was still really impressive, but holy crap. Jordan Love with 6 touchdowns. Saban with 5. Unbelievable. Aaron Jones was ass. Receiving Hyde, 257 with 3 touchdowns. Kupp, 270 with 3 touchdowns. What the hell happened in this one? 3 sacks for Donald, 3 for Rashawn Gary. Unbelievable game. Sucks that we were on the losing end of it, but that was ridiculous. The comeback, down what, 34-0, I think it was? And then we ended up making it all the way back, down by 3. Did not win, but that was crazy. Of course, losing the Rams is just such an L because they're not making it in the Super Bowl. There's 0 chance. There's just no chance that they're going to be in there. And they just end up stealing our spot with a crazy game. The Vikings of all teams. Chiefs with a chance to win back-to-back here. They are the ultimate dynasty here, win or lose. And the Vikings win their first Super Bowl. All right, fair enough. Let's take a look at the players. Jordan Love, did he go to Superstar? Still didn't. Hyde did not go up, and Dev, he was already Superstar. Let's take a look at Jordan Love, 81 overall. Deep accuracy is not great. Either is short, but medium's decent. Throw power is good. He played pretty well. He did his thing, I suppose. 89 overall for Christian Watson, who was, last time I checked, pretty balanced. Outside of that release, he is pretty damn good. But yeah, that release is pretty bad. Let's take a look at Hyde. Even though he's a one-year rookie, I am curious to see how he turned out. Great release. Well, decent release. Great route running for deep. Everything else is pretty weak, but he's obviously insanely fast. Want to take a look now at Mr. Jaden Reed, who's an 80 overall. He was really good his rookie year, and then he kind of got worse as the time went on, and very good catch and release, just sucks. And yeah, I mean, just disappointing, outside of that first season. What else do we have? Musgrave's also a guy that was kind of up and down, but slowly over time got worse technically. Aaron Jones, 91 speed, 94 excel. Great juke move. Terrible in the playoffs, though. I don't know what it is, but he's just bad in the postseason. Let's take a look at Luke Musgrave, 82 overall. If they get this out of him, worth the pick for sure. Tucker Kraft barely played. I know I should have probably changed to some scheme that used 2 tight ends, but at the end of the day, we're never going to have like a Gronk Hernandez situation. Very good catching, decent after the catch, but just didn't really play much because, teams don't really use the 2 tight ends in Madden very often, so there's really not much of a playbook like what the Patriots maybe we could have used. Let's take a look at Mr. Reed. Obviously, he's kind of a newer guy as well. He's still young, but 91 zone coverage, so definitely worth starting him, without a doubt. That zone coverage is ridiculously high. We'll save Lukas Van Ness for the end because he is the main guy that they added, obviously, in the offseason. Elliott, 84 zone coverage. Well, I wouldn't say main guy because, like I said, I think the tight ends could play a huge factor. Rasul Douglas, who I actually did re-sign to a 1-year 6 because we had the money, ended up going to Superstar, which is interesting. Why not, right? Keep a decently high overall cornerback. Stokes, 86 overall, speaking of, 26 years old. 90 man, super fast, zone coverage lacking, press is great. Pretty solid corner, decent compliment to Jair, obviously. 99 overall, but no X factor for Jair. Getting up there in age, but look at those ratings. Absolutely spectacular. What else do we have for defense? I guess Rashawn Gary, 96 overall. I think I was a free agency a lot, but obviously didn't in this one. And we paid Jordan Love more than the Packers would have had to, so not bad for us keeping the team together. We even kept Preston Smith the whole time, which I suppose in real life, they really backed themselves into a corner with him. I don't know why. They just kept pushing the money down the line. I guess for Rodgers' sake, they kind of had to, just so they wouldn't have taken the hit that very season. But I would say Preston Smith, unless he has a crazy good season, is probably on his way out. Speaking of, let's take a look at Mr. Wyatt, who we never technically replaced. 27 years old, 86 finesse. He's not bad. It's just that ceiling, dude. It's not a good one because of how old he starts out as a rookie. Colby Wooden, he was okay. Nothing really spectacular. Pretty low numbers, but his overall is decent. Kenny Clark was barely existent in this one either. Did not want to see you, Mr. Devontae Wyatt. We just looked at you, pal. But Kenny Clark, I believe... Oh my god, with this game. Why is it so trash? I can't get through one video without complaining about the game because it's so dumb. Like, why does it randomly just skip over, dude? I don't understand. God, I'm mad at this game all the time. 88 power move, 91 block shed, 95 strength. I was actually kind of shocked to see when I manually upgraded a power move that he actually had equal power to block shed. That just isn't even close to the case in Madden usually. And then Lukas Van Ness, the last of the bunch. He was actually pretty good the season before this last one. Block shed's iffy, but 91 power move. I mean, that would be a win. It'd be nice to see him develop his pass rush game because, like I said, he's pretty one-dimensional at this rate, and he's still super young, obviously, so we'll see what Green Bay can do with him. Let me know what you guys think of the rebuild, but more importantly, what do you guys think of the Packers going forward? Obviously, they're one of the biggest question marks because they have talent still, so this whole idea that they're a rebuild team just isn't fully genuine because we don't know about Jordan Love. That's the question mark. Obviously, the big question mark is Jordan Love him. If he's good, if he's even average, they can compete. They definitely can compete. Would you have them as your favorite? Probably not. But the Packers aren't this really bad roster now that Rodgers is gone. They still have a decent roster that is love him. I don't know. You know, he's got the running backs. He's got the O-line. He's got athleticism at the receivers, so they might still be kind of young and need to develop a little bit, like himself probably. You know, there's potential there. And then obviously on defense, all of those high-round draft picks on the defensive side, the potential's there. Can that trash can DC, you know, tap into it? Probably not, but we'll see. This is almost a season where if you're a Packers fan, you almost want them to be bad outside of Jordan Love because you need Joe Barry gone. You need Joe Barry gone. You need a lot of that front office to be replaced, and that's the only way this team's going to go forward. Joe Barry cannot be the guy. He's just not him. But yeah, as a Packers fan, I'm semi-optimistic. I mean, it's going to be less of a fun season to me because, you know, the fun as a Packers fan over the last, like, decade was seeing if Rodgers can, like, build his legacy to becoming the GOAT. But that's gone, obviously. Obviously, you still want your team to win in general. But as far as, like, seeing that kind of, like, the intensity of a guy near the end of his career trying to win more Super Bowls, that's kind of gone because, you know, this is kind of like a refresh, reset. It's one of the younger teams in the league now, specifically on offense. So there's going to be some ups and some downs, and it should still be fun. But, yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you heads or tails on, you know, how this offense is going to play because, once again, that question mark at that QB1 spot. Optimism, but we'll see. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like. Maybe subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, really appreciate continued support on the channel, especially here late into the months of the Madden cycle. If you guys have a team you want to see next, let me know in the comment section below. I think, what do we have? The Saints would be kind of next on my list, but I would like DeAndre Hopkins to, like, hopefully join a team soon enough because I wouldn't want to do the Saints and then for some reason he chooses Saints or chooses another team. I kind of want to do a D-Hop rebuild, and a Cardinals rebuild wouldn't hurt either. So Saints, Cardinals, those are kind of the next two teams on my list. Maybe Bears, and then whatever team DeAndre Hopkins signs to, I guess. But that's about it. Should be a Star Wars Jedi Survivor episode tomorrow. And unless something, you know, like DeAndre Hopkins signs or some other kind of move happens on this channel, the next upload would probably be on Tuesday. But that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya.